rotting driftwood on the foreign shores, spilling out into the ocean floor, and the memories all you've left without a trace. Paralyzed with the thoughts receding, current sweeps you with the silent bleeding through the heart into the darkest place. Well, turn around, there's nothing to see here. Run away, no reason to be here. It's the ghost who never goes away. Turn around and leave this behind now. You see the ground as it bleeds in the sky now. You fight the sea, you're always gonna drown. All the secrets that you're holding, all the memories you hide, all the frail thoughts that echo in the corners of your mind, they won't even last a moment. They will soon be swept away when the ocean takes you in its arms and carries you away. You carry all your burdens on the cross around your neck. You take whatever's left that you could salvage from the wreck, and the hard past will follow you like a lost dog on the beach, nipping at your trail till you've drifted out of reach. Yeah, turn around, there's nothing to see here. Run away, no reason to be here. It's the ghost who never goes away. Turn around and leave this behind now. See the ground as it bleeds to the sky now. You fight the sea, you're always gonna drown. In the broken line horizon, in the castles made of sand, you tried to hold it in your hands, you tried to understand it. The ocean asks the questions, and it holds the answers too. It dissolves away the lies about the things you thought you knew.
No time was wasted in assembling a squad. This pitchfork army on a mission sent from God. No inch was safe from Reverend Paris's brigade. Their crusade, their crusade, their crusade. Call the magistrate and don't you wait another minute, cause this town is going to hell if we don't put away the sinning. And we got no time to let a jury have their turn. Let 'em burn, let 'em burn, let 'em burn. The damned were crammed into a carriage on the square. Their faces battered and their bodies all were bare. The Reverend led them to an isolated hill. Time to kill, time to kill, time to kill. by one their necks were snapped beneath the cedar tree. The spirits vanished and the demons all were free. They dug a hole to hold the devilish remains. They were slain, they were slain, they were slain. The town was safe from all those wicked dissidents. They could continue with their life of innocence, dispensing justice from a higher power. They built a church atop the spirits and the bones. Their moans were heard as they were laying down the stones. But the witches got revenge beneath that steeple bell. They cast a spell, sent the reverend to hell.
Welcome to a slightly off-brand Wednesday night,
whatever, it's totally
stream.
on-brand.
Off-brand for typical Wednesday nights, on-brand for our bi-weekly Saturday game, Syrill. So tonight we are going to be doing a quick little, I guess you could say one-shot, more like a one-off, it's a one-on-one between myself and Andy, where we're going to be exploring what happened after last Syrill session. So to give you a little backdrop history, let's do a little recap, and then I'll go over all of our spiel afterwards.
Yes, you can watch this, Brian. It's okay.
Yes, it's canon, so... but just keep in mind you can't use this to your advantage.
He won't be here Saturday.
This is true.
So
you can't!
I could.
No. So to give you a little, let's do a little recap. So the players had been kind of drawn into a conflict in the Feywild between the Summer Court and the Winter Court. What became known is that Verity had entered into a pact with his patron, Puck, of the Spring Court. But the Spring Court has allied themselves with the Summer Court within the Fey, and they are currently doing battle, so to speak, on the sly with the Winter and Autumn Courts, as they are, according to Oberon, the Prince of the Spring Court, trying to basically take over the Feywild and bring eternal winter to the Feywild. The reason why the players care is because not only do they love their beloved warlock / rogue, is that the spillage of the conflict and possible the eventual winter in the Feywild could actually affect other planes of existence, particularly the material plane and or the Shadowfell, since they mirror so closely with each other. Not that they really care about the Shadowfell, but they do care about the material plane. So they've been doing some fetch quests for Oberon and the Queen of Summer, trying to fetch some jewels that are basically a piece of her power that has been broken up and scattered about. They've learned that that the Winter Court's queen has a similar set of jewels within a necklace. It has been speculated that the Winter Queen has gained all of her jewels, and now it is a rush to reclaim the Summer jewels in order to prevent the destruction of the Feywild as they know it.
Which
What's
Verity had
happening?
absolutely nothing to do with those winter court gems. Absolutely nothing to do with that.
So while they've been going off and achieving these gems, in the last couple of sessions, they were down in the Lady of the Lake in the Cerulean Lake, and were fetching one of the jewels therein, and upon exiting and having been kind of given a warning of what's going on in the Feywild over large, they started to pick up their pace heading to their last destination, which was to the Horse Lord. While they were traveling through the forest, the party was besieged upon by various
What did I write? Hags, hounds, and yucks. We got attacked by hags, hounds, and yucks, according to my notes.
Yep.
That was the weird... The wolf things that had, like, people face.
Those were the hounds.
Well, they were apparently the yucks, too.
I mean, they were kind of weird because obviously they had people faces.
Anyways, continue.
And once they had settled in for a night's rest, they were attacked again. But this time, the goal was not necessarily to kill. Turns out that one of the two main individuals within the fight, aside from some pixies that got scattered pretty quickly,
Rick Pixies, we hardly do ye.
they got dead, and then they just went no. One of the villains opened a dimension portal and had made a couple of outward suggestions to Verity that Verity come with them. Verity did enter the dimension door, and that is where we pick up. It is where on the other side of that dimension door, and immediately after that fight. So you have stepped through this shining portal of like dark blue and purple energy, and with a popping noise, it comes back to existence, and you are still within a forest somewhere, but it's much colder than you remember it being wherever you just were. And the cold just crawls up your spine. The individual that you stepped through the portal with,
The changeling looking dude.
he turns and his image melts to reveal a face which you haven't seen in several long months. There are differences to his appearance, which is somewhat you immediately catch upon. His once vibrant red hair, still beautifully long, is not as vibrant as you remember it.
Okay.
And at his roots, you see shocks of white. And this is, it's a very distinct variation. He's literally got long roots, and then it goes white red.
Love it. Needs a root job.
He does need a root job.
He needs to go to that place in the area.
Mm-hmm. He needs your advice.
He needs to get his hair done.
He's wearing elegant leather armor that is, it's more like a fancy cloth, actually.
Yeah.
But it is designed to look very armor-esque,
Okay.
and it has motifs that are decorated out in blue and purples and blacks, and you definitely get the sense of winter has touched him. And his eyes are no longer the same color. They are ice blue.
Verity is I'm going to kind of so Verity doesn't travel by teleportation very often, so he's a little disoriented.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to basically try and find a tree to sort of lean against and try and get his bearings
Okay.
of what is happening, sort of.
Okay.
And just be a little disoriented for a minute. But while I'm doing that, I'm going to try and be sending a message to Puck. Or
Okay.
reaching out to my patron.
Okay. Roll me an Arcana check, please.
But no. Arcana?
Mhm.
17. 19.
Okay.
That's a +1 I have to Arcana.
What are you saying?
So Verity is essentially saying, if I die, just let it happen. But I think my brother is here, so please make sure he and my friends get out okay if our connection goes dark.
Okay.
I know you're not doing so hot, but like you owe me.
You get a very, almost like static.
Bad connection.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
This line is disconnected.
The phone
Please
you
try
are trying
again.
to reach is unavailable at this number.
But it's almost like the voice is far, far away in like a tunnel.
Yeah.
And it's clouded in a way, but you hear, I understand, but I've got a little left. Focus on your dagger.
Please no.
And at that point, Lamore walks over, looking mildly concerned.
Yeah.
Are you all right?
And probably about the time that Verity goes to open his mouth to say something to Lamore, I'm guessing, is about the time the messages from Jeff start hitting.
Bam, bam, bam!
It's, it probably was 20, 30 seconds, maybe a minute at most.
Well,
It's probably...
What do you do, send 3?
Yeah, I'm just
So-
meaning from the time that the battle ended to whenever... I don't know what happened. I still haven't watched the end of that session, so I'm not sure
About
what
a
the time
session or
was.
2. It was about 2 rounds afterwards, so yeah, I'd say so.
Okay. So Verity kind of opens his mouth to say something, and then suddenly has an angry bard's voice in his head, and just goes completely pale and shocked. Because that's new.
That's new.
I was expecting disappointed Ramduin. And suddenly I have
Eat your yogurt!
she can't hear you. And suddenly I have pissed off Bard, in my head. So, like, Verity goes from like, yeah, I'm gonna say something witty, to suddenly just like, and so it's just like a complete and total like shock, sort of, for probably about, just for shits and giggles, to just have the, about the time that Lamore is coming over and like,
Yeah, he walks over, as you, like, have you gone over and, like, braced yourself against a tree, and you're, like, shaking your head, and you're, like, concentrating on this
yeah, trying to talk to
with
Puck,
Puck.
yeah.
And then a hand comes over and touches your back, and he kind of pulls you away, and is, like, holding you in a way, and he goes, are you all right? And you're kind of looking up, and you're about to say, yeah, and then just drains.
Yeah.
And he kind of blinks him, and he goes, oh, don't worry, darling, it's still the same me. I know that my appearance might have changed a little bit, but I promise it is still, everything is as it should be.
I recognize you, yeah. I guess my posters didn't work because your hair's different.
Yeah.
And
I don't want to cut it.
So about that time, we'll say second message from Jeff. Wham! And I am going to willingly save my Oathbreaker, willingly fail my lie, and telepathically I'm telling a lie back to Jeff.
Okay.
So I'm willingly failing it.
Okay.
So I'm going to take the damage.
Okay.
Okay, that's good for me. Okay, that's not too terrible, but yeah, so Verity's sort of like, yeah, I recognized you, and then I'm gonna be really dramatic about it.
Okay.
And just sort of like,
Roll a deception check for me.
Oh hey. Oh, I forget I'm actually good at deception. I just never fucking do it. Hey.
Okay.
What'd you roll? 24.
Okay. And he immediately is like holding you, and he's like, are you injured? I didn't think you got hit. What's wrong? And what is, I guess, so that I know what the response is.
Oh, I'm literally just saying something like, my skin is green. Like something that is just a completely 1,000%.
Not even in tone with what the conversation is.
No, it's just like Jeff is like, you stupid son of a blah, 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 blah. I'm like, my skin is green.
What? All right.
So yeah, that's it's whatever it is. It's some ridiculous, I'm a goblin. My skin is green. Something that is just completely, absolutely, totally a lie. That would be very easily noticed by Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm gonna sort of lean against him a little bit. Be like, where's Malleus?
Oh, of course. Let's get you somewhere safe. And he starts leading you away.
Can I, so I have 1,000 ball bearings.
Okay.
Can I, try and, subtly rip a hole in the bag so I'm, leaving a trail of ball bearings behind me?
You can certainly try. Make me a sleight of hand.
Okay. Okay.
That is cocked. Okay. What'd you roll?
26.
Okay. Okay. And now make me a dexterity, dexterity check.
Okay.
Or if you wanted to, yeah, another dexterity check, straight up.
It's just straight dex.
Mm-hmm.
13.
Okay. It's a little more difficult than you anticipated it being,
Yeah.
but Lamore seems very focused on your well-being,
Mhm.
that he doesn't notice you fumbling with your bag.
Okay.
And you do manage to finally work one of the seams loose enough that ball bearings start slowly dropping out. You almost kind of have to rattle it or rub it a little bit every now and again so they get adjusted long enough. Boop, boop, boop.
Okay. Okay.
And he starts leading you away, and he comes to a I think that's it. I think it's up to 2 people. I can't remember specifically.
Oh no, Magix is happening. I hate it.
I can't remember how this alphabet goes. There it is.
I love that song.
Okay, so let's...
Help, you guys. Help.
Okay, he technically didn't. So, he's going to, he reaches over and he goes, "If you'll allow me, I promise this won't hurt. We're going to go somewhere farther away, and it would be best if we made haste."
Where is my brother?
I told you, at my home.
Before we go anywhere, what happened?
What do you mean?
Who killed me?
Obviously no one, because you're still here.
No, I died.
And he is... So he's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, you were there. What happened to you? Did they hurt you?
Oh, that night. Right. Yes, I was injured.
Inside check. Which I can't roll below an 8 on insight checks anyways. 22.
Alright. He's very straight-faced, but you catch enough of a hesitation in his voice. You're pretty sure he's lying.
Okay. I'm gonna say I believe you and willingly fail my save.
Okay.
Oh no. Oh, the dice did not roll all ones that time. Oh, ow. Okay, so he says, you know, I believe you, and massive. I basically got 2 6s and a 5. I need to be keeping track of my damage.
Yes, you do. If you're going to be doing that, you do.
Okay, go ahead.
Immediately he's at your side, holding you up, and he looks really concerned. Like, you're randomly bleeding. And he hasn't done anything, and he's like, what the fuck? He's like, I really would like to get you back to my home so I can take care of these wounds. I'm not a healer.
In the tree, how did the tree not get in your head?
It's, I promise I'll show you. You're going to like it.
Fuck it, committed.
Oh, Lord.
My friends are very angry with me for leaving with you. And that hurts me.
Well, I told you I'd save you from them. Here we are.
If you have a way that you stop the tree from getting to you, I think it would help me maybe not be hurting so much.
Roll a persuasion check for me.
Can I have advantage because I'm cute?
No.
Because I'm bleeding profusely?
No. Yes.
Okay. Okay, I'm not horrible at persuasion. 19?
Alright. He looks to consider it for a very long moment, and then kind of gives, like, his eyes kind of narrow. No. Unfortunately, this isn't something I can give over so willingly.
Then can you at least tell me the truth about what happened that night?
He looks a little appalled. Like, genuinely, like, how dare you?
How dare you accuse me of lying?
Verity. You've never been one to think, so don't start now. And he, like, reaches behind you and puts his hand on the back of your neck and kind of squeezes just a little bit.
Because I just, I think about that night feeling the water fill my lungs and waiting for you to save me. And you didn't.
I'm gonna use the pity card.
I'm gonna use the guilt trip! I drowned, unable to move, at the bottom of a river, waiting for you
like
to save me.
His hand is on the back of your neck, and he just takes his other hand and just, like, puts it on your mouth. And then, like, his other hand falls away. It wasn't my choice.
Okay. What does that even mean?
She commanded it of me.
Who?
The Queen of Winter.
That was her necklace. Oh, fuck.
He kind of twilts his head and is like, huh. I guess your friends helped you figure that one out.
They're smarter than me.
Clearly. That night, it wasn't the jewels that was necessarily the prize. It was the setting.
Why didn't you tell me?
Because I didn't really know what it was I had in my possession until I tried to attune to it. In doing so, well, long story short, she didn't like you being there.
Why? What did I do?
An accessory. A piece she couldn't control.
Oh, I thought you... I was like, I'm not a necklace. I'm not an accessory.
The reason why I didn't save you, Verity, was because it's
You that did it.
he slowly kind of nods, not willing to say the words, but nods very, very minutely.
I'm gonna try and like step away a little bit. Not like far. Like if he resists it, I'm gonna stop, but...
He's not touching you at this
Okay,
moment.
then I'm gonna step away a little bit. You know, like 5-10 feet, not far. Just sort of... Jeff will be happy he was right.
About what?
What happened that night. I've been looking for you for 8 months. 8 months, 14 days.
I don't really know how long it's been.
It's been 8 months and 14 days since I entered the Feywild. Who the hell knows what time it is outside of here, because time doesn't work here.
Nope.
I hate it.
Yeah, you get used to it.
I don't wanna get used to it. I miss the stars and there being nighttime and changing the seasons and changing the weather in a way that makes friggin' sense.
Yeah. That can be achieved. The power will be mine. You can be there with me, again.
If you're gonna destroy the spring and summer courts,
What do I care about them?
you're gonna kill me again.
How would that be possible?
My life is tied to the Fey courts.
He tilts his head and gives you a look. And goes from being, like, genial to a way to very, like, aggressive in his question. What do you mean? Be plain with your words. Don't be coy.
You know I'm not very good with my words. That was always your strong suit. They brought me back to life.
What do you mean, they?
The courts. I don't know. It does. The whole thing is a blur. I died, and then I woke up, and there was a fire, and there was someone there, and they. My life is tied to the court. Now, if you do this, you're killing me again.
He, like, curses in a language that you've never heard. This is dumb.
Yeah, I was trying to tell you in the tree. I meant it. When I said that if you took those gems, I needed them to live.
Well, I'm sure there's a way around it. There's a way around it.
I don't know that there is.
The only two Fae that matter are the Winter Queen and the Summer Queen.
Okay.
All other Fae get their powers from them.
Okay.
Whoever it is you made a pact with, which is I'm assuming what you did.
I guess.
And who is it?
A deer man.
A what?
A deer looking guy. I had just died, okay? It was
Roll a
very
deception check.
blurry. 23.
Okay.
You know, have you ever died? Because it's really disorienting.
I will figure it out. Somehow, some way. She probably knows. I just have to convince her. We need to get back to my place.
Well, where is it?
A ways away from here.
Okay.
I'm going to cast Fly on us.
It's better than walking underwater. The Lady of the Lake's place was really traumatizing.
I followed you to the lake, but didn't actually see what you did.
I ran into water.
You didn't drown?
There was like some magical bullshit, like sludge we drank. It was gross.
This realm never ceases to amaze me.
Yeah, I hate it.
He reaches over to your shoulder and he casts Fly on you.
Okay.
Or he kind of touches you both, and you both start to levitate. And he reaches over and he kind of grasps like your wrist area.
Yeah.
And starts shooting off in a direction.
Okay, I will go.
And he will lead you further into the cold. As you fly, the temperature is dropping drastically. You watch as the fields that are underneath you go from like a gentle wave of like greens and yellows, and you're starting to fly towards that mountain that you guys had originally seen when you'd arrived in the Feywild. And it seems like you're flying directly towards it. And you're starting to get into snowy fields, covered rocks and snow and ice. And you land after about, I think the fly only lasts for maybe an hour. How long does that? Up to 10 minutes. Well. Let's see. Well, you can fly 60 feet. For the sake of things and all that thing, it's fine. Time is wibbly wobbly. For the sake of this adventure, does things. After a couple minutes, what feels like eternity to you, but probably isn't all that long, he finally guides you to the ground, and you land in this clearing that's buffeted on one side by trees and has a very distinct rock formation that is in one area of the field, and it's like 3 rocks that are very specifically, it looks like they go small, medium, and large, and they do like a little spiral.
Okay.
And he lands beside them and he goes, all right, don't move.
I'm just gonna sit here.
And he like holds up his finger and he's like,
Can I get a drink from my bag?
Yes. And he turns and he holds up his hands and he starts muttering to himself.
Alright, I'm gonna get out my little raven token.
Okay, make me a sleight of hand. check.
Okay.
You could probably fail this miserably, but you know.
Oh, hey!
Yep, that's what I thought.
30!
Yep, I gave him disadvantage and he rolled a 4.
Yes! One thing has gone my way! Okay, so I'm gonna get that out.
Okay.
And I am going to...
What are the specifics of that particular?
So, the figure of wondrous power is a statuette of a beast small enough to fit in a pocket. If you use the action to speak the command word and throw the figurine to a point on the ground within 60 feet of you, the figurine will become a living creature. Blah, blah, blah. The creature is friendly to you and your companions, understands your languages, and obeys spoken commands. If you issue no commands, the creature defends itself but will take no other action. The creature exists for a duration specific, which is 12 hours for the raven.
Okay.
Yeah. At the end, it reverts to figurine form. When the creature becomes a figurine again, it can't be used for a certain amount of time. So basically, it is a silver statue out of a raven, and I am going to attempt to... I'm not going to so much as chuck it as, like, gently boop it beside me.
Mm-hmm.
And just be like, hey.
Make me another, make me a performance check.
Oh, no.
Because you're trying to,
Yeah.
you have to speak.
18.
Okay. So you managed to do a very good stage whisper with your command word, and the beast, poof.
Okay, and I'm going to just sort of, like, put my bag in front of it, and then, like, pretend like I'm leaning over and going through my bag so that I can basically, like, talk into my bag but sort of be getting to the bird.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to use it to do the animal messenger thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a message of 25 words.
Animal messenger.
I have it here. The means of the spell, you can use to deliver a message, choose a tiny beast, blah, blah, blah. You have to give a description and a message of up to 25 words.
Mm-hmm.
So, I am going to basically say, because I would have already sent the message back to Jeff, because Jeff sent 3, so after the third one, he would have actually responded with a useful message and not just, I'm green.
Okay.
So he would have already told Jeff that his brother was kidnapped and to check in on his brother. And basically Verity was going to try and get the gems and keep Lamore occupied, but that he had not betrayed them. He was coming back, but that Lamore had kidnapped his brother and he needed to make sure his brother
You're going to have to write that
I
out.
will. I'll write it all out.
Because it's got to be 25. I think it's going to be 25 words.
So Jeff would already have that. So for Animal Messenger, Verity is going to basically describe where he went. So he's going to say, flew towards mountains, describe the stone set that he saw, magic bullshit, still haven't found brother,
Okay.
essentially. And then I'm going to describe where I'm doing.
Okay.
And send it off on its way as quickly as I can.
Okay.
As I try and hop up at the same time as the bird.
All right.
So basically, as I send the bird up to, like, fly away, Verity is going to hop up and, like, go over to sort of be not like, if he's still casting magic, he's not going to be, like, deliberately like, what you doing? But if it seems that he is done, he's going to kind of go over and, like, lean against him a little bit. Be like, I'm cold.
So as you hop up and the bird flies away, his attention gets momentarily distracted and he hears the noise of the flapping wings and he kind of looks around. And he sees the bird. He kind of eyes it.
Do you drink vodka? I don't remember.
Occasionally.
That's all I have.
And about that moment where he gives like this, what? You actually watch as what was apparently a very clear field, a barrier shimmers and then seems to collapse, revealing a moderately what you would imagine. You've seen. It's a house.
Mm-hmm.
It's very extravagant. Roll me.
Impressed.
Actually, you wouldn't.
Roll me for how impressed it is.
And it's like architecture you've never seen before. And it's very beautiful. So he finally he catches you around the waist, and he tugs you forward and goes, "Come." And he opens his door.
I'm gonna grab my bag.
Oh, of course. And he watches you like a hawk.
Yeah, I'm just sort of like, I got a bottle of vodka in one hand and I'm just shove it in my... Okay, did you?
No.
Okay, I
He-
do.
Please don't. I'll get you some water.
Okay.
And he motions you in. And it's a very elaborate house. And it screams L'Amour. It's very luscious. It's very luxurious. But again, the designs and the architecture within the house are nothing like you've ever seen before.
Wow, where did you find this place?
I made it. Reminds me of home.
Well, you always said you'd take me there. I guess you did.
I mean, this is just a magical recreation of what I'd imagine, but one day I'll take you there.
Where's Malleus?
And he closes the door behind you as soon as you walk in, and he barks a word in another language, and you hear this. Actually, make me a perception check.
No. Perception. Plus 1. 15!
Okay, so you hear this strange grinding of metal against metal. It's not loud, but it is enough that you're like, what the fuck is that? As he says this word, and he's escorting you around the corner, you see Malleus laying on the floor, and he is half asleep and drowsy. And as soon as he sees you and he sees L'Amour, he is up and a little unsteady on his feet. He's like, "You unhand my brother!"
I'm gonna try and run over to my brother.
He doesn't stop you.
Okay, I'm gonna run over to Malleus.
And he just immediately takes you, hugs you, and then shoves you behind him.
Malleus, it's okay.
It's not okay.
It is.
That man is he's...
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
What's happened?
He
He said you were in trouble, and then...
said you wanted to travel.
Not like this, and not being bound for 3 days. He's, glaring at L'Amour, and you, L'Amour is just kind of, doesn't seem at all affected by his anger. And he walks over and gets very close to Malleus, and Malleus flinches as he reaches down and picks up, a little ball, what looks like tangled metal bands. Mm-hmm. And he takes it and he puts it up on a high shelf, and he goes, "Yes, well, you weren't being very helpful." And he kind of walks off again.
So Malleus, this is nothing personal, but we're in the Feywild, so I'm gonna ask you some questions to make sure you're really my brother.
He just looks very put upon, but he's like, "Go ahead."
Who is your oldest brother? The DM quiz.
Mirix,
What deity does Mercy follow?
the Raven Queen, or the Matron of Ravens, however you wish to.
Who did I write a letter to because I was really mad at you and then they showed up and hurt you?
Mercy.
Okay.
And he just pulls you into a hug and is got his head on. Well, he's actually shorter than you, so he's head first in your chest, and then he's like, "Are you bleeding again? Why are you bleeding like that? It's so unnatural."
Just trust me, okay?
It's not very
I'm glad you're okay. I was worried about you.
I was worried about you. He said you were in trouble.
When am I not in trouble, Malleus?
He kind of just like, that's not what I meant, but like real trouble.
Yeah? I met the fairy people. It was cool.
If I wasn't completely and utterly freaked out, I would want to hear more. For now,
We can talk
how the
later.
fuck do we get out of this?
Well, I imagine that Lamore is gonna let you go, right?
Lamore's like coming back into the room, and he's got like a tray of small edibles.
Ooh! We can have!
Not like that.
No.
And some hot tea. And he goes, "Oh, right. What?"
I was just telling Malleus I assumed you're letting him go at this point.
Oh. Yes, sure. He puts down the tray and he's like, "As long as you're not planning on doing anything stupid."
I mean, you know me. Everything I do is pretty stupid. I know what you mean. Okay, so while I'm hugging Malleus, I'm going to try and pass him my periactive wound closure.
Okay.
Carolyn's like, why are you like this?
Alright. Would he care? Probably. So roll me a sleight of hand check. Yeah. Fucking I don't think it matters.
That's 19?
Okay. Yeah, let me just roll for.
Yeah.
You never know. He might do well. Maybe not. Nope. So neither Malleus nor Lamore seem to notice that you've slipped something into Malleus's, I guess, back pocket.
Well, what I wanted to do is, like, while he was, like, hugging me and, like, had his face on my chest, is sort of, like, shove it into his chest, essentially.
Ah, okay.
Like,
he's
so Malleus is aware. I'm not trying to hide it from Malleus. I'm just trying to keep... If Lamore notices, he notices, but if he doesn't, then whatever, but...
Actually, let me do something.
Just, boop, this is for you.
Okay. So he looks really confused for a moment.
My friends are somewhere out in the Feywild. So just go find them. They'll get you home. There's I don't know if it's still there, but I'm doing some in a big giant storm cloud. It should be there for a little while. And if you hear thunder and stuff, that's probably him.
He like takes it and is like holding it against his chest, and he looks really like nervous.
Yeah. Jeff knows you.
He nods, and about that time, Lamore comes over and grabs Malleus by the back of the neck, to the point where you actually see it where he actually grabs and like
Scruffs him.
yeah, gets a good chunk of his hair in his hand, and Malleus is like,
Hey, you don't have to hurt him.
I'm not. He's
delicate.
I know. And he basically just marches Malleus to the front door, opens it, pushes him out the door, and closes it.
Oh, bye.
Yeah. Perfect.
Perfect. You know, why did you think you had to steal my brother to get me to come and see you?
Well, I don't know. You weren't very forthcoming. You didn't do what I asked.
I was inside a living tree that was intruding in my thoughts. I was trying to keep it from reading your messages to me.
Well. You should have just trusted me.
Trying to. The Feywild is just... No one is who they seem they are.
Well, there's that, but that's just Fae.
Yeah, I'm learning that. You've been here this whole time?
On and off. Occasionally I pop over into the material realm when my mistress sees it necessary, but otherwise, yes, I've spent the majority of my time here.
Did you ever go looking for me?
I thought you were dead.
I'm just gonna kind of hold up my lover's amulet.
I shoved it in a bag, because you were dead.
Okay.
And I honestly didn't look at it until I literally saw you outside of that fucking tree.
Yeah, the wink kind of gave you away.
It was a knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah. So was mine. So what's happened? What?
Well,
Built a house?
yeah, it was magically summoned, but yes.
That's cool.
Lots of things you can do with magic, especially when you have the right patron.
Yeah, I wouldn't really know. I'm not very good with it.
That's alright. I just wonder if she can override your pact. He sits and he's literally stopping and thinking to himself, muttering about, can a pact be overridden? Would it have to be a stronger? Would it? Does it matter if
what
it's,
happened?
yeah? How would that work?
Yeah. So while he's kind of pondering, I'm just be like, is it really you? And I'm gonna kind of pat him down, is this actually the shape that I know? Is this another disguise that you've been using essentially? But while I'm doing that, I also kind of want to pat him down to see if I can figure out where any gems might be.
Okay. Make me an investigation check at disadvantage.
Yep.
Because you're trying not to be obvious about it.
Oh. 12.
That is cocked as hell.
14 because I'm not intimidating him. I was I stat +2. Wait.
What'd you get?
14.
Okay. So you reach over and you do the pat down, and as you you get to as you touch his cheeks, then you move to his shoulders, and you start going to his chest. As soon as you touch right here, he grabs your wrists and just pushes your arms away. Yes, it's really me.
I'm sorry. We have a person in our group who does a lot of disguises and stuff, so sometimes I'm not sure who I'm...
Speaking of, what the hell was that display?
What display?
He gives you...
You did the thing where you said, come to me, and that was all I could think about.
Are you literally trying to deceive him on that one?
I mean, both yes and no, because that did happen while Verity was sort of under suggestion and at Lamore's side. So I think he maybe was pseudo-aware something had happened behind him, but I don't know that he ever actually turned around and saw
it
for exactly what it was.
Okay.
So, sort of yes, sort of... he's got a pretty solid idea of what happened, because Jeff has told him what he wanted to do before.
Right.
So he's pretty sure he knows what happened, but he didn't
see it.
He didn't really see it, so... meh.
He gives you this long, hard look, and he's like, you're right. So you've been talking about me, then?
I've been putting... Can I show you something from my bag? It's a book.
Sure.
So I'm going to go to my bag and pull out my little sketch of him.
Mm-hmm.
I showed everybody this because I've been looking for you.
He regards it for a moment. I don't think my nose looks that big, but... Yeah.
Well, I drew it in a hurry.
Not bad.
But I showed everybody because I was trying to find you. So... And then I talked about your pretty red hair.
He kind of like grunts in like annoyance.
Yeah, there's a hair salon in the area that could probably...
It won't take. Believe me, I've already tried.
Yeah, I figured you probably had. But that was...
That would be my mistress.
That was...
I'm surprised yours hasn't put any mark on you.
Do they do that?
Well, mine did. He motions to his eyes and his hair.
I don't know if Edrales did. I never asked.
And he also like then reaches out and just like puts his hand over on your forehead. And you notice for the first time he is ice cold.
Oh, that's cold.
Mm-hmm.
I bet your toes are even worse.
You
No.
want to figure it out?
No! No, I don't know. Maybe that's just a winter thing?
Possibly.
I don't know. Fae are weird. I doubt any of them do the same thing even twice.
I stopped trying to think about it.
Yeah, me too. And then I ended up here. So it didn't work out very well.
So why are you here exactly?
To stop you?
Right. Clearly that would explain why you were all after my prizes.
So how'd you know where they were? Is that just like common knowledge? Because they acted like it was like real secret knowledge.
No. I scried.
Oh. That's the...
It, sort of. I just listened in on a important conversation or three.
So how did the tree not talk to you? Because it was very confused, and I was very confused and panicking a lot.
Make another persuasion check.
Oh no, I'm bad at those. Yeah, no. That's an 8.
He's like, well, I'm sure you are aware that the gyms have powers.
I mean, yeah, sort of. No one's like explicitly said exactly what they do.
Well, one of them protects you from divination magic.
Oh.
So spells that would read your mind, locate you.
Do telepathic damage.
I haven't experienced that, nor do I want to find out.
But yeah, that was all that happened at the fight with the guy who I assume turned into you.
Wait, what?
The I'm sorry, I'm nervous. I'm changing topics.
Yes, rapidly.
Yeah, well, that's what I do when I'm nervous.
I don't know why you're nervous.
Because it's been like 8 months and you're like in the winter court that's like trying to kill me, and that's a lot to take in. You kidnapped my brother and like you killed me. Like it's a lot to take in.
It wasn't my choice. It wasn't my choice.
Insight check. Oh no, wait, it doesn't matter because I can't roll below a 7. I mean, it doesn't really matter. 11.
You get a sense that there's a frustration and a not necessarily a wanting to hide, but there's like a frustration and a slight shame in his... It wasn't my choice.
Yeah.
You... Make an intelligence check.
But no. My sworn enemy. That was better than I thought it was. I just looked at it and I just saw a 9 and I'm like, there was a 1 there too! Like just intelligent, like just plus my imp mod. Dirty 20.
Okay. You get a feeling that having been under the influence of some spells that influence your actions, he was put under the influence of those spells. And knowing Lemore, you gather that the frustration comes from having not been able to resist
The spell.
Okay. So it was not his desire, like he was somehow commanded to do what he did.
Okay. I mean, I guess good job on trying to make it not hurt. I don't know if that makes it better or worse.
I don't know either.
Do you have healing potions or something? 'Cause this kind of hurts.
Yeah, give me a minute. And he gets up and he's like, here, have some tea. It's your favorite. And he gets up and starts wandering around the house. You hear rummaging, like crazy
I'm
rummaging.
gonna snoop a little bit.
Okay.
Like not a lot, just like casual snoopage.
Casualsnoopage.tumblr.com. Alright.
And just kind of see if there's anything interesting, anything that would maybe give me a hint of, like, a way to get out of here. I'm gonna kind of try and maybe look back toward where we came in and see if I can figure out some kind of an exit strategy or something.
Okay. Go ahead and make me a perception check.
But no, what if I just know?
Okay.
You love me! 21! Oh my god, my little pink metal guys want me to live!
So immediately looking around, you do notice that this particular room is like a very nice, like, small sitting area, and it also looks like it is a room where he keeps trinkets that are of importance. Particularly, you see the metal ball that he picked up off the floor after you came in with Malleus. You note that there are a few other trinkets and odd ends, and all of them are very, like, distinctly displayed. Rows of books. And the room itself is very well decorated. It's off the main hallway into what is essentially the entry area. You don't really remember seeing much having come in, but it does sound like there is obviously a kitchen somewhere and possibly some other rooms.
Okay.
Excuse me.
While he is out of the room, I'm gonna try and reach out to Puck again.
Okay. Make me an Arcana check.
Oh boy. Hey, it's not horrible. 16.
Okay. It's still really staticky.
Yeah.
And again, it's when you finally hear his voice, it's a very urgent focus on your dagger, but it's far away.
Yeah.
Just like a really soft whisper.
Yeah. I'm just gonna sort of go back. I'm trying to not die.
It'll
But
help you.
I'm trying just to. My ex-boyfriend has me in his weird castle of magic. Okay. But I will pull out my weapon and try and focus on it.
Okay.
In a way that would not look threatening if Lemore walks back in. So I'm gonna so can I lean casually against a wall and just sort of have it out sort of like I'm just sort of playing with it? Or picking my nails with it or something that would look non-threatening if he walks back in?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I'm gonna try and do.
Okay. And are you, I'm assuming,
What?
focusing
on
the
it,
dagger?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm just picking my nails. I'm just like, haha, fuck you, Puck.
As you're focusing on it, there is this. You get
Do
this.
you want me to focus on my dagger or on my rapier? Or on my short sword?
Whatever weapon it is.
So my rapier is what I use most often.
Okay. He would say whatever.
Okay. Because
Whatever he.
if he means specific dagger, I have 5 of them, so he's gonna have to clarify which dagger.
He will have said focus on your main weapon. How about
Okay. Okay. So I will do that.
Okay.
Slightly. So I'm gonna basically have it out and be like picking off like snow or something from the soles of my boots,
Okay.
like something so that looks non-threatening as possible.
Okay. So as you're doing that and you're focusing in on the sword,
Wakey wakey.
excuse me, you feel this weird tingle in your hand,
Oh, I hate this.
and you watch momentarily as the blade almost like starts to vanish.
Oh, I really hate that.
And you're like watching this in like fascination and horror as you have this and you're like halfway
Yeah.
acting at this
Yeah.
point. And about the time that it's like the blade is like halfway gone, Lamore comes in, and it breaks your concentration, and the blade snaps back into reality. And he comes back in, and he has a small basket of potions, and he's like, I think these are. Why do you have a weapon out?
I was getting the snow off my boots. Do you want me to take my shoes off?
I would prefer it if you just put your weapons away.
Okay.
And he like watches you for a minute, and once you put the weapons away or down, he like comes over. Did you put it like down on the table?
Yeah.
He comes over and he like kicks it away. He like reaches up with his foot and like kicks it away before putting the things down. And he goes over and picks up the rapier and like carries it away.
I feel like you don't trust me.
I haven't fully decided if you're with me or not.
Well,
Please take a potion.
Okay. I will.
They're minor healing potions.
Okay.
So I think it's like 2d4 plus 4.
Okay. I'll take a few.
Huh?
I'll take a few.
I'm assuming you're drinking at least one.
Yeah.
Ooh, my dice like you. That is 5 plus 4 is 9.
9.
So,
Yeah, I'll take it.
you down a potion and some of your wounds start to knit together.
Is there more than one?
There are, we'll say 3 altogether, so 2 more additional.
So I'd like to take a second one.
Okay. And drink it?
Drink it.
Okay.
Look, I got whammied real bad for one of those hits, okay?
That is 8 damage. Or 8.
8 damage. That one was poisoned. God damn it, Lamar! I told you better label your potions. Alright, so that pretty much brings me up to... Yeah, that basically brings me up to snuff.
And he doesn't like hide the weapon, so to speak, is that there is like a weapons rack outside in the entryway where you actually see where he has some of his own weapons, and he like places it up there and he kind of glares at it for a minute before coming back to you.
Do you want me to just put my bag and my coat and everything over there? Like, I can just strip. Might be distracting.
As fun as that would be, maybe not now. And he comes over and he finally sits beside you, props his feet up on the table, picks up the glass of tea that's there and starts sipping it. So, I suppose after tonight I will visit my queen. I will talk to her about possibly seeing what we can do for you.
You're not gonna hurt my friends, are you?
If they give over what I need willingly, then no.
Yeah, I figured you'd say that.
I'll make it quick. Besides, you don't need them.
Yeah, I mean a little bit of offense because I'm still kind of bitter. You're not very good at making death quick.
I have more than just me.
What, like those? What? Who was fake Oberon this time? Because we've run into a lot of them. Because Jeff is fake Oberon like all the time.
Most of those have been me.
I mean, I gathered, but who is it this time? Because it wasn't you.
I don't remember his name. Some underling that the gloriousness is bequeathed to me.
Those little things were kind of useless.
he has an affinity for them apparently and decided, I want to bring my pixies. And I was like, they're useless. And he's like, but they're fun. And I'm like, whatever. I don't remember his name. He's a changeling of some kind.
So this is what your home looks like? Like, where you're really from?
The architecture is similar in style to that which is found in my homeland, yes.
So what do I have to do for you to trust me?
Well, for now, I just need you to be here. And, well, I'm hoping when the time comes, your friends will have either gone to go fetch the third gem, bring it here, and come to rescue you.
I don't know that they will.
If not, then...
They're really angry.
Well, regardless, I know what they look like, and I've got...
Well, I mean, no one really knows what Jess looks like.
The other 4 I can figure out. Anyway, they'll be dealt with.
They're really strong.
Eh. I have the queen on my side.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, I guess you do.
Regardless, once this has all been dealt with, I'll make sure that she saves you. And we have all the power and wealth we have ever desired. And I can show you the world. Just as I promised.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of Syrill.
That's not even the whole world. There's a whole continent. Well, 3 continents actually. It's just an island by name. By
I healed, I can do it.
oh boy.
You know, one of my friends is from somewhere far away from Syrill too, I think.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
have they said where?
No?
Hmm.
Which I think is a lie, because I'm pretty sure Brigitte has told us all about her homeland.
I don't think she's told you specifically where though.
Maybe not then. Okay.
I think maybe she's described
Yeah.
it, but I don't think she's specifically named it.
They're looking for some sort of thing.
What kind of thing?
It's magic.
It's like half the artifacts on this fucking planet.
Yeah, I'm starting to notice that. It's a horn.
Like from a demon or...
I don't know, she just said it was a horn. Sort of the truth and sort of not.
He just kind of is like, well, I suppose as long as it doesn't get in my way, I don't really care what they're looking for.
Well, what would be in your way? Because I feel like I keep getting into it accidentally. Because I didn't know you were here.
Yes, well, my priority is getting these gems.
And then what?
I have what I want.
I mean, we've been around with Faye. You know that's not how it works, right?
We made a deal. Nothing ever gets exchanged for nothing. The power I seek, I get because I completed this task for the Queen.
Just the deals don't always work out like you think.
I've been very careful in my words.
Better than me.
That's all. Be sure to talk about it before you meet with her. She can be very exacting.
I'm very annoying.
It's part of your charm, love.
I don't know about that. Fuck it. Let's just do it. Will you let me hold and attune to the anti-scrying gem?
For what purpose?
Because my group is going to reach out to me and I don't know what to tell them.
Make a persuasion check. Ooh.
Dirty 20? They're very mad at me.
Maybe mad enough to come get you.
Or leave me to rot. That's the impression I got, which I'm gonna probably say is a lie, because I don't know, because I don't know if Jeff will have responded back or not.
Well, don't worry about it.
Okay. I think you overestimate their attachment to me.
It's part of a grander plan.
So I'm just here to be bait?
Essentially. Not main, not all the way. It's
You can
just
scoot away from him.
look. Once I have the gems and I present them to her, she has promised that I will be granted unimaginable power. That kind of power I can do anything with. We could hop continents with a snap of my fingers. The wealth that we could attain. We can live like kings, Verity.
But we'd hurt a lot of people.
Who cares?
I do.
You didn't before.
We weren't hurting those people. We were just messing around with some rich fucks. I've seen things since we've split that have made me care a little bit more about hurting people than I did.
The mortal races are adaptable. They'll get over it. Either you're with me or you're not. And if you're not, I can't guarantee your safety.
I need time to decide that. This is a lot to take in.
He kind of rolls his eyes.
You know what? That Verity is gonna stand up and just rip open his shirt to show off his horrible, awful scarring.
Okay.
Be like, you did this to me! And I am having to rationalize that right now. So, I deserve time to think about what I'm going to do. Okay?
Hey, calm down. You have 24 hours. And he kind of stands up, and there's a very ornate hourglass. He tips it over, marks a day. You have until this runs out.
You're not gonna hurt my friends until then?
No. I won't hurt them until then.
Do I believe him? I'm trying to channel my inner I'm doing.
Roll an insight check. Oh, fuck.
18? Math is hard.
He... He's definitely lying to you.
Okay, I'm gonna put my shirt back. Or am I? No. I'm gonna just say, I believe you. And willingly fail my save.
Okay.
Okay, well there's one healing potion going. Alright, so I believe you. I'm gonna pick up my shirt as I start.
And he's like, why do you keep starting bleeding? It's weird.
Yeah! Yeah, it fucking is!
And he like shoves the other potion at you.
If you give me that gem that stops scrying, I will stop bleeding.
Make a persuasion check with advantage.
I'm trying so hard, you guys! Persuasion. I'm not horrible at it. Which, thank God for advantage, because that's a nat 1. 21? Plus 2. 21. I can math.
You watch him pace for about 10 minutes straight.
I'm gonna not drink the potion. I'm just gonna sit there bleeding and occasionally making sad pained noises.
Make a performance check for me.
Oh, I'm actually okay. Oh. 15 plus 30, 20.
Okay. So the moment you start making like these sad pained noises, he pulls his collar down and you see the necklace. He's actually wearing it.
Mm.
So he actually has, I'm just going to be like, internet! Because I don't actually have the necklace on, so I don't actually need to show you my neck. But he has the necklace on him.
So like the
He has the setting,
Okay,
and it has the 4 gems in it.
Mm-hmm.
And there are the 3 settings that are missing.
That are empty still.
And he takes off the necklace, and he sits there, and you see him like take a small dagger out of his boot, and he pops one of the gems out, catches it, puts the necklace back on him, and he just like takes your hand and slams it into your palm. Focus on this for 30 minutes.
Well, thank you.
And like he gets up and like walks out of the room because he's just like freaked the fuck out.
I'm going to then drink my potion. The last of the potion.
Okay. 8 damage, 8 healing again.
Alright, we are just like, you take 8, you die, you lose 9. You take 8, you lose 9. You take 8, you lose 9. Oh boy, okay. So, okay, I'm not going to tune to it.
Okay.
I'm not going to attune to the item, but I am gonna put it in my underwear.
That's a weird...
I'm trying to put it somewhere that would be difficult for somebody to get back from without me noticing.
Okay.
I'm a thief at heart, so...
Do you have, like, pockets sewn into your underwear?
Yeah. Barry grew up in in a fair, so pickpocketing was rampant, so he 1,000% would have at least, like, hidden pockets all in his stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm not going to attune to the item.
Okay.
And I'm gonna put my shirt back on. A little bit of blood stain on it, not too bad. I don't have Jeff here to mend it, so...
All right.
I'm gonna have some tea.
About 45 minutes later, he comes back in, sees you dressed, and he's like, well?
Much better.
And then he, like, waves his hand. I'm pretty sure he has
I do too, actually. I'm refusing to use it because I don't want him to know what
Yes.
all magic I have.
He has prestidigitation, so he prestidigitations your clothing clean.
Okay.
And gets the blood out. Then I don't look like a bloody hobo.
You're the one who picked this outfit out for me.
The blood does it. I can't say that it's been kept up in the best condition.
Just cast mending on it all the time.
He, like, scoffs. I suppose we'll have to get you better clothing.
Warmer would be nice.
He finally, like, looks around and he walks off into another room and he comes back with this big old plush blanket and he, like, and, like, drapes it over you.
Burrito.
And then he comes back down and sits next to you again.
What's that weird metal ball do? Is that like a juggling ball? Did you pick up juggling?
No, that's not what that does.
Probably a good thing I didn't pick it up to juggle with it.
I mean, you can't really do anything with it until you speak the command word.
Which isn't juggle.
No.
Balloon.
Nope.
Fuck.
Also not it.
Okay, what does it do?
Are you trying to determine, like, if it's a useful item?
I'm trying to determine what it does, if it's a useful item, and also make small talk
Okay.
that is taking the subject off of the gemstones and the bleeding.
So,
So, yes, to all of these. And if he doesn't want to tell me, that's fine, but Verity is trying to make sort of small talk that is productive.
when you ask, he's like, oh, it's, just a magical trinket. And he quickly moves off of that to some of the other stuff, which are mostly, like, minor magics, things that mainly amuse him more so than anything.
Yeah.
And he focuses on those. He tells you about some of how he got them, the adventures that he's gone on, the harrowing, near misses that he's had. And you get the sense that he's trying to impress you.
I act suitably impressed.
Go ahead and make a performance check.
Oh, 21.
Okay. The more that he feels that you are adequately, like, impressed by his
Yeah, so you
actions,
kind of just be like,
he definitely becomes the man you that remember.
Mm-hmm.
The one who is very, very passionate, very outspoken, very free-flowing with his ideas and the passion that he had for what it is that he was after.
mm-hmm.
And he's very much invested in your admiration of him.
Yeah, so I will listen and look suitably impressed at the appropriate moments, and then occasionally, like, do, like, occasional points where I, like, lean over and just sort of casually touch him, like, on the shoulder, or every once in a while, like, on the knee or something, but usually, like, sort of almost shyly.
Yeah.
Being coquettish.
Which he eats up. And the rest of the night he tries to shower you with the appropriate praise, the appropriate gifts. You get the sense that he is definitely trying to win you over 1,000%. He has your favorite drinks. He has your favorite foods. Oh, I'm cold. Let me get you a blanket.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm tired. Well, let's get you to bed. Anything you say you want, he's immediately attentive to what it is you want and need.
Okay, and I will try to, like, if he asks me questions, does he ask me anything about, like, the group or any sort of...
Not particularly. He doesn't seem... Whenever you mention your friends, he's very dismissive of them.
Mm-hmm.
You clearly get the sense that he he thinks he is superior to them, and will, whatever outcome or whatever event will it transpire, he will be the victor. There is no question in his mind.
Okay.
So he's not super concerned about them and what they're capable of.
So at some point I'm going to offer to braid his hair.
Okay. He is a little, like, confused by it at first, but
I used to do that.
he sits down and is like, I wasn't anticipating you wanting to do it so soon, but is willing to let you do it.
Okay. And when I get, like, to the, like, you know, finishing up it, I'm trying to also see if I can see the clasp of the necklace and see if there is, like, if I can figure out the fastest way that would be to unlock this. I'm not, like, trying to actually do that. I'm just trying to get a sense of how does this necklace go on and off.
Yeah.
Where is the clasp? What does the clasp look like? How long do I think it would take to...
So go ahead and make me an investigation check.
I'm not great at my rolls either, though. 12!
Okay. It's hard to distinguish because it's not made like typical jewelry is. The band is, again, this woven, the it's not a band, the chain is this intricately woven filigree of plant material and metal.
Okay.
And it almost seems to an extent that it almost joins together seamlessly. It doesn't even look like there really is.
Yeah.
To your initial glance. If you would like to try again, you can.
Yeah, I would. I'll say, like, maybe once I finish braiding his hair, I'll try and, like, smooth my shoulders, like, down to his, like, smooth my hands down to his shoulders and just sort of start, like, massaging them.
Okay.
Investigation?
Yes.
That's slightly better. Where did it go? Not intimidation. No. I was like, intimidation! No. Investigation is 18.
Okay. So you finish and you tie off the braid and, you know, you, like, run your fingers, like back behind his ears to tuck any loose hairs and gently, like, run your fingers down his neck. And you can, it's a little disquieting in a way because when you do touch his skin, he is ice cold to the touch. And even once you get to his shoulders and you start massaging his shoulders through his clothing, you can still feel the cold emanating from throughout his clothing.
I'm glad that I have invisible gloves.
And you're taking the moment. He relaxes into your touch and seems to kind of put down his guard a little bit, and you're able to study it a little bit more intently. And as you do, you see it's almost something that seems to twist together, so it does take a little moment of like twisting action in order to get it to come apart.
Okay. Yeah, I will keep that up until it comes to, like, a natural sort of point where it makes sense to stop. Something that's not going to just be like, I'm done.
2 seconds, I'm done.
Bye! Yeah, and then I'll just sort of lean back a little.
And he, like, leaned. The way I imagine is that he was sitting.
Yeah, probably in front of
you. So he kind of leans back into your space. I've missed this.
Do you actually, like, feel cold?
No.
Do I feel, like, hot?
No.
Really?
Mm-mm. Everything feels the same to me.
You ruined my joke. I'm always hot.
You've been hanging around some very low class humor. Well, he kind of, like, glances over at the hourglass and is like, it is late.
Yeah, I guess I have no idea what time it is. And then I disoriented myself when that fight started because I made it really dark when it hasn't been dark in, like, a really long time. It wasn't dark anymore.
That was you?
Yeah, I don't think I learned how to do that yet, but it's something that tieflings get. It is. it's a level 5 thing, so I'm not sure at what point they... I think he would have seen that, because I think I was a level 5... We started at level 5 in the game.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't have seen me at that point, but it's a level 5 tiefling ability, so... Yeah, it's one that I didn't really get the hang of until, after everything. But, like, I could always do that, like, you hit me, you're on fire
Yes.
thing, and so now it's like, you spooked me, and now it's dark.
I'm not quite sure that's a great defensive mechanism, but you do you.
I mean, I thought it was a great idea, and if we had been in a normal place where it gets dark outside, it would have been a great idea. But instead, all I did was make a big, giant, dark bubble around our camp and say, here we are, because I'm an idiot.
He kind of stands up and just pats you on the head gently.
But I heard the pixies, so I...
Not everyone can see in the dark.
Yeah, I know. Most everybody in my group can't. Not that dark, at least, because it's like a magical dark, I guess, which is different than a regular dark.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't really understand how darks can be different. Like, if it's a shadow, it should be the same shadow, whether it's a magic shadow or a normal shadow.
No.
But why does magic have a shadow?
Because it's conjured.
Why would you conjure something that exists?
Well, it probably doesn't actually exist there for real. Because obviously a bubble of shadow wouldn't really exist. Ergo, it is a conjured manipulation of the elements.
But yeah, that's a thing I can do now, so...
Yeah, don't worry your pretty little head over it.
I'm not worried about darkness at all. I gotta be careful to not lie now. It's like, I'm not worried. Warning, warning, warning about darkness. I'm not worried about that spell at all.
Nope.
That spell is totally A-okay.
But he will, at that point, he will actually excuse himself and be like, I'm going to go to bed.
Can you take me on a tour before you go to bed so I can find the kitchen and stuff if I get
Of course.
hungry?
And he takes you around the rest of the house, and he seems to have some sort of propriety, in that he doesn't automatically assume you're going to sleep in the same bed.
Mm-hmm.
He does actually have, like, a spare bedroom, and is like, here's where you can sleep if you so choose. My room is here. And it shows you where the kitchen is, where the restroom facilities are, and any other room that you might require. You see him as he comes back through the main entryway. You see him walk over to the door and put his hand on the door, and his eyes seem to flash this bright white color briefly, and you see the shimmer go across the door. He kind of gives a nod and walks away.
Is that what makes the rocks go back?
What?
There was like weird rocks, and then where you did the woo, and then we came in here?
The barrier went down?
Yeah, I guess.
Yes.
Oh, so you can do it from both sides. I guess that makes sense. It's a door. You should be able to... I'm sorry. I'm very tired.
Go to sleep. You'll feel better when you wake up.
Good night.
And he doesn't seem to be overly worried about you being here.
Mm-hmm.
He goes right up to his own room, and you hear him go through his nightly routine, and getting ready to go to sleep.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to my rapier and try and finish making it weird.
Okay. So you kind of do the... Roll me a quick stealth check while you're at it.
Oh, jeez. 26.
Okay. You quickly are able to kind of take it off the weapon rack without rattling everything, and you abscond with it up to your room, where you sit down on the bed and you start focusing on the rapier. And again, you get this tingling sensation in your hand. And again, the sword, slowly but surely, over the course of the 30 minutes, begins to vanish. And when you finish 30 minutes, the sword is absolutely gone. But there's something within your mind that you know. And you're like, let me... And you hold your hand out in a quick fashion, and this rapier appears. It's ordained in a beautiful engraving of flowers and vines.
Pretty.
The sword hilt seems to be made from a very thick wood that seems to twist in on itself. A few flowers sprouting from the tip of the hilt and the pommel.
Okay.
And you hold it, you focus again, and it vanishes in a flash.
That's handy.
Every time you focus in on it, it appears, it vanishes, it appears, it vanishes. And almost when you finally, like, you're like, I got the hang of this. Damn, that's so freaking cool.
This is cool.
You get this like slight, you get the voice in the back of your head from Puck, and he says, that's it. That's my gift.
Okay, well stop, because you're dying, so stop it. You're dying and I'm in deep shit, so stop it.
And
I'm going to move and put my short sword back on the thing.
Okay.
And hope that he didn't pay enough attention to what the weapon was to realize it's a different weapon that's on the weapon rack this morning.
Okay.
Because I have a short sword and a rapier that I use.
Okay.
So I'm going to...
Don't tell me what time it is.
I am going to try and do that and hope that he doesn't notice that it's not a rapier anymore. I'm sure it'll be fine. He won't remember it all. It'll be fine.
And I think that is where we shall call this,
So I'm probably going to not sleep. So should I make a con save and go ahead and see that, or do you want me to do that Saturday?
We'll get to that on Saturday.
Okay. And I'm not attuning to the gym.
Alrighty.
Okay.
So,
I lived, bitches!
so join us. So we're gonna wrap this up for the evening. I went a little, not quite. It was about what I expected.
Yeah.
So we will be picking this up with the main group this Saturday. I haven't written any of that.
Oh boy, Carolyn. Why'd you admit that on film?
Yeah, you know. Because it'll probably be obvious when we get there on Saturday. I'm like, hey, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
You got 2 days.
I know. We'll see what happens. But yes, join us this Saturday, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the hopeful conclusion of the Fae arc. It's either this episode or the following one. It depends on pacing. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for tonight. Again, join us Saturday. Next week we will be back to our regular DM chats, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then the following weekend I think is Father's Day weekend.
So no River
of Tercel. Of course, follow us on our social media, which I think the link will probably be popping up in chat in about 2 seconds. Because we have a bot now. We're moving up in the world.
It's very exciting, y'all. You can also ask it !8ball and a question, and it will give you an answer. So let's see what it says about Verity's fate.
8ball.
Hey, 8ball. And then Mondays we have our new thing with
Susie.
With
That's
Susie
right.
playing video games.
We have a video game and chill night Mondays. We'll probably be starting around 6 p.m. That's a variable time depending on when Susie wants to get started. And probably running until about 9 just to give you guys a hefty time of hanging out with us. Join us in the chat. We'll all be there, cutting up.
The bot.
Yeah, messing with the bot, doing all sorts of crazy nonsense.
The bot is our friend.
And yeah, if you check our social, we do have a Discord now, so you can join us whenever you want. We're just as crazy there as we are online. So yeah, lots of fun. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm not quite sure who all was in the chat because I wasn't paying attention. Sorry. DMing is hard.
Yes.
And
especially when you have wily characters who keep hurting themselves. Just being like, fuck it!
I'm gonna lie. And
I'm gonna
bleed.
lie and I'm gonna take, man, jeez!
But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us. We really appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you all on Saturday for Tales of Syrill, the main episode. Whee! Bye, Internet. Thank you guys.
Bye!